Hi, my name is John Bailey. I'm an entrepreneur in the digital marketing and creative space. A main pain point I wanted to solve prior to movement therapy was finding something that was going to accommodate my everyday lifestyle day in and day out. It's not sustainable to always be in the gym hitting the weights hard, or sometimes having that 5 a.m. go for a run for an hour type of discipline. Things happen, life happens, we interrupt. And I needed to find something that was going to be a little bit more accommodating in that lifestyle. So I think that over time I had to look at something that was going to be a solution for that. This was that solution. This was definitely something that got me rigorous with my time, allowed me to have my session of training for stretching and really building that flexibility in my body and knowing myself and understanding the recovery process. But as well, I can now supplement with some extra workouts here and there and not go too hard and really take my time, slow down, focus on my breathing. And that really helped me identify those pain points. So the times that maybe it's later on in the day and I've had a long day, or maybe I sat for a long time, I know what to do now. I know how to stretch or how to move my body in a way that's going to alleviate a lot of those pressures that I was getting before in a lifestyle that wasn't really sustainable for me. Hitting the gym and then going sitting for hours and working, or being out in the field and then coming back, and at the end of the day not really knowing what to do. Sure, I can do yoga, sure I can do a lot of other things, but I think this has simplified it, yet increase the amount of complexity and the amount of focus they need to get it done. And that's really solved a big pain point for me, is just focusing on one thing, shutting out everything, and really being present for the workout. Very hard to be present in the gym. What has been the results so far with working with the movement therapy? I would have to say the results have been pretty big. I would say some of the results have been I sleep better because I'm utilizing the energy a lot more throughout my day, and it seems to be that I'm actually resting more at night, which is unusual for me because I'm one of those 4-hour guys. So now I'm like a 6 to 7 hour guy, which is really good. So that's a result. I'm getting better sleep. I'm having more energy throughout the day boundlessly. I'm finding that I can do things better around the house. I have 2 little children I'm looking after every day, so I'm spending a lot of time on the floor, a lot of time at their level. And before, that used to be, I think, a little bit of a struggle point, everything from having to bend over to be crouching down. And doing this movement therapy now, I find that it's much easier to do it. I'm actually down at their level squatting or just hanging out and spending time with my children. And so that's been huge results. The other results is I'm inviting my family into it. Some days I have to do it in the living room, and I have to keep them quiet and playing while I'm getting it done. And you know what? They're doing that, but they also see what I'm doing and they start to mimic and they start to see it. So I'm that result is I'm creating something for them to mirror in their lifestyle. They'll always remember that. So that's huge. Another thing I think results wise, I'm not so focused on the number. I'm not so focused on my weight. I'm not so focused on how much I'm lifting in a day. I supplement with those things now. Yeah, I still, track my numbers, but now it's in a way of just making sure I'm on track, or seeing if there's a difference, or if I'm losing body fat and things like that. So now I can focus on the things that make sense instead of focusing on the one thing, lose weight, focusing on one thing, build muscle. This is doing all of that for me. So now I get to take a look and see how I can supplement those things and add on different workouts. And that's huge. That's huge results for me in my life. I think outside of that is my other results is I'm building inspiration for others as I talk about what I'm doing, as I'm sharing the results, and as they see me physically, people are seeing the difference, and I like it. So those are my celebrated results. What's the biggest benefit of movement therapy and why? I would say the biggest benefit I'd find is focus. Overall, just I'm focused, I'm grounded, I'm very centered in what I want for my body, what I want in energy levels, what I want in my flexibility and my mobility. And I would say that's a huge benefit. It's just knowing yourself and being very focused in that. Why? It's important. We're so distracted in life. We're so not present in life. We can't do one thing and shut down on the other things, and especially with mobile phones and notifications, all these people in our life. And yes, connections and relationships are important, but it's also important to set that time apart. So one of the biggest benefits is I have focus, I'm aware of myself, and I'm present, which is huge for me. What almost prevented me from making a decision to do the movement therapy, and now how I feel about my decision, I would say I feel great about my decision. I feel proud that I didn't limit myself to the conversation, because I would say that prior to, I was definitely limiting myself to the conversation. Can I do it? Will I look stupid? Will I do it right? Will I injure myself and, possibly create more pain or anything for myself? And those are a lot of limiting conversations I had in the beginning. Now looking at it, I realize, those are the conversations you have almost with anything. And prior to it, I was very intimidated, not only by, having to be kind of one-on-one on video with a professional athlete, but also other people that are at similar levels. Kind of like when you go to the gym, so that guy's over there lifting more weights. I got to lift more weights to overcompensate for him. And I was afraid I was going to have to step in that arena again. It's half the reason why I stopped going to big commercial gyms. And then I realized, even that conversation isn't really serving me well. I can go to the gym and I can do that and be in my own space anyways. But this has definitely allowed me to see what it is to look goofy, to do things for the first time, and ambitiously want to keep doing that for the first time again and again and again until it looks like I've done it 1,000 times and I look awesome at it. And that's what I get to build for myself. So I think prior to definitely limiting, now looking on it, proud, happy I made the decision. And I would make the decision on almost anything now going forward, as scary as it seems, because, on the other side of it, it's always usually pretty cool, especially if you go 100%. What has exceeded my expectations and surprised me the most about working with Rome and movement therapy, I would say they both go hand in hand. What exceeded my expectations was I thought I was going to, I guess keep moving the needle on my scale, dropping weight and reaching those goals that I set for myself. And I'm starting to find some comfort in my size. I'm not morbidly obese. I'm not at a level where I know I need to do that. I've gone that in my journey. Now I'm in a place where I'm being comfortable with the idea that I'm a bigger gentleman and I want to build into my body. And how to do that isn't exactly losing weight. It's about building strength and mobility and flexibility and really having a good diet, of course. So I think overall I exceeded my expectations because now I don't focus on that expectation at all of losing weight. I now focus more on like how better my clothes feel and how much I look better in the mirror or things like that. And that surprised me. Actually, that surprised me a lot. It taught me something new. It taught me that not everybody is on the same track or path. Not everybody has to lose weight or be at some body level to meet the acceptance of others, because that doesn't even exist either. So definitely surprised by the results I've seen, and not and those results being more of just showing up and doing the practice every day than showing up, doing the practice and weighing myself every day. So big, huge lift off my shoulders, and that I'm not like so tied to this number. And now I'm more tied to show up and do the work every day, and get it done and see the results. And compoundedly over time, it's exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for a lifetime of this kind of practice that would give me the results I want for the rest of my life, not just for 90 days or not just for the summer. So, what would I tell my best friend if they were on the fence about movement therapy? I would tell them they're crazy. I would say, look at the results, look at what's going on. And I would challenge them. I would say, when's the last time you did something that was courageous and new, and you had fears and maybe you had thoughts about it, but when you did it and you came out on the other side of it, what was the results? And if it was anything other than, I knew exactly what was coming, then I would probably, go deeper and challenge them more, like what kind of, assumptions do you make in life, and what stops you from doing things that are courageous and new. I would say this is courageous and new. If you're looking for something that is going to change your perspective on what it is to move and to understand and be aware of your body and really set the time out for yourself to get that work done. What is your goal at the end? Is your goal to have a summer body, or is your goal to have your summer body when you're 70 years old? And that's where I put it in. This is a lifelong type of atmosphere to really put yourself in, and to have that rigor and that discipline to create results that are going to last every single day. And that's what I would tell them. It'd be a form of a challenge, but mostly in a, hey, really take a look at this and be serious about who you want to be, and what kind of physical shape do you want to have for the rest of your life. Because, it's not going to last forever, however you do it. And this is such a diverse amount of motion and movement and physical strength, and sometimes even intense situations, that overall you're building something that's much different than what you do in the gym. Resilience, discipline, physical body and movement, lifelong worth of, strength. So